We are at part 2 of why men should marry younger women. So, why should they marry younger women? Well, if you want men to stop being pedophiles and not being confined to female standards of behavior, which is what's been going on lately, and loosening those ties that bind them, then that's what's going to happen, because all of this behavior is a backlash to get even or go against the mother archetype, which has a very, very strong hold on consciousness in this reality. So in order for them to stop getting madder and madder and madder, and then they do dumbass things like become pedophiles and rape and kill and start joining gangs and trying to find themselves no matter any way they can. If we want this to stop, and if we want this to stop, then we need to have a real look at the toxic female psyche, which is exactly what's going on and what is giving birth to these men who are going around doing this type of thing. So what is happening is that men are attached too much to the mother even as they're born. There's too much of an attachment. The mother doesn't want to let go. She's wants to hold on for dear life, and so of course raises them in a toxic type of dependency, so they can never get away. So that means that we need to look at things from very different angles. We need, for example, to allow men to look at and go with and be with a variety of women without forcing them to stop being hunters, because hunting opens them up to new ways of seeing instead of suppressing everything and then looking for children to molest, because this is what's happening right now. They are suppressing themselves, and then are going around in circles trying to circumvent the feminine standards of behavior so that they can have some sort of freedom to be able to express the hunter instinct, instead of liberals and politically correct idiots trying to feminize them. Instead, what's happening is that they're forcing them to rise up, and this is what's happening. That's why the right is rising throughout the world. So if you keep doing this, men will keep backlashing, and then you're going to keep trying to constrict them through controlling institutions like education, family, religion, and government is also an institution. And so once they have this morality, this false morality placed on them, then obviously expect the worst from them. Don't expect the best, because how dare you try to institutionalize them and then expect them to present the best side of themselves. That will never happen. They will just continue to keep backlashing against women. And of course, that's what's happening right now, is a misogynistic view of women is rising up. It's coming up from everywhere, and this is all due to the same thing. Even if men go for different types, wrong types of women, it's still okay. It's better for them to experience it rather than suppress it. So men are born into the world pretty much blank. It's a total world. It's a world where they learn through experiences, and though women are already aware of it, women are already part of this kind of material world. We're spiritual, but we're also know the ins and outs of these realities, because the planet is feminine, things are feminine. So we are created from the womb, and as soon as men are born and they come out of the womb, the first thing they need to do is to repel anything that to get away from the mother energy. If the woman is normal and she has a good relationship with herself and she has this freeing consciousness, she will not suppress her sons, and rather make sure that they are going towards freedom and to trust their own consciousness and to awaken their own ability to survive and to hunt. So the worst thing that can happen is getting back to men and their hunting instincts and going for younger women. So when they're in a relationship and they're going for younger women and different women and this and that, this means that while they're doing that, you need to be discerning and looking to make sure that the man you are with is not an idiot or low in consciousness or stupid or a psychopath or things like this. Is the stuff you need to discern as a woman. So if you're not discerning, then you're having children with any kind of idiot that comes along, good, bad, and ugly. So the point of it is they are hunters, but you need to be the one discerning and saying, no, you can't be with me, and let them keep on their merry way of hunting and continue their hunt. Okay, but it's up to us not to just let anybody in, sleep with anybody. It doesn't work like that. You need to be really discerning, because women are the guardians of the planet. If you just let any idiot in to produce or to create, you will be creating something that you might not want to create after a while. Look at Islamic cultures that have brainwashed themselves into believing that any child is a gift from God. And we all know, of course, that isn't true. Any old shit can come out if you are not feeling any desire. You don't just go breeding like a mechanical man and creating things out of nothing with no intention, with no desire. Then idiot children will be born. They're not all good children. Energy is energy. So you really need to be careful and discern things and repel anything ghastly that might be coming towards you, and just make sure you're not desperate for a relationship. Your only priority is to be your own creator. Look into yourself. Women are having children and then living their lives through them. That is not how it's happening. That's not what's supposed to be happening. So people in the third world, of course, are the worst, because they cannot, they're like so disconnected to themselves because they're trying to survive all the time. So of course the women are like baby machines, and so anything and everything can come through. Getting back to it, men who are 40s and 50s are where they need to start looking to settling down or to have a longer term relationship in their 40s and 50s. And we need to stop telling men that they're old at 40s and 50s. They are not old. That's the time to begin looking to settle down, not before that. Before 40 is exploration time. It's playtime. It's just like a child that explores the universe. And even some of them are still not ready to commit up until 50 years old, maybe longer, maybe never. That is not your decision to make. The man is the hunter. The woman is the one who discerns. Is he a good hunter? Is he not? Do I accept him? Do I not? You don't go around sleeping with 50,000 men because it says so in Hollywood or the media or the movies to say that you're cool. This is a notion that is very immature, very stupid, and you invite all kinds of sexual energies into your bodies that you then have to process through your womb. So it's best to allow men to do their hunting. Doesn't mean that just because they're hunting, they'll be sleeping with everybody. If the women are smart, they won't be letting them sleep with more than one or two women. Depends. Okay, it depends. But the access to freedom is what men are looking for. And the only way to do that is to get older, experience different things before you can settle down with just one woman. Because once you're in a family, you're stuck. I recently been watching a show, documentary on a man who was I think he was a junior league hockey player, and he killed his wife. He had a beautiful wife and 2 children. He killed them, and actually hired someone to kill them, and then went to jail for it. And all why? Because he didn't want to be with the same woman anymore. He got bored. He got the 2 children. That was it. And instead of saying, I don't want to be with you and I like a divorce or whatever, men just can't seem to bring themselves to say that. So that means that we have got to change the way the society is so that we don't have gruesome murders when they feel trapped, or at least have less expectations. Because nowadays, women think that men are your best friend. They're not. You can't marry your best friend. Otherwise, you need to go find a girl. Okay? Men are not women. And it doesn't work like that. So they're hunters. They're primarily looking for women, the ability to create and not to be tied down just because you've decided that in partnership with the church, which can fuck off. Okay? So we really need to redefine society and the way we look at things. I'm just shocked at the amount of expectations that women have on men. In the 50s, which was in that era, men weren't really expected to do very much at all. They came home, they read the newspaper, and then they went off to work, and there was hardly even discussion. I'm not saying to get to that point, and times have changed, so I'm not saying that either. But if we don't do something, it's going to get worse. You can already see divorces are skyrocketing. People are not staying with their partner because it's a lot of work to raise 2 children with just a man and a woman, and the man starts to feel trapped. So if the woman feels trapped, which she very well may, this is why the society needs to change it. We need to start raising our children together in groups instead of just living with a man in one house. He's hankering to get out. You're bitching and nagging. He doesn't care. He's trying to escape. And this is not anywhere near a normal relationship or in our society. So people are looking really much to fantasy to sort of fill in the gaps of these expectations that they have. It just isn't that way. It's not the case. So men to marry younger women is always a good idea. As they get older and the woman is younger, then he's likely to stay longer with her, to be more settled. He isn't going to be crazy. He isn't going to be going through a process of rebellion, because he already did all of that. So he'll be calmer. He will be more accepting, more gentle, more at peace with himself, not searching like a lunatic. Okay, so yeah, that is how we're going to have to look at this. And once they're ready to create, to settle down, then marry them. But that usually doesn't happen till after 40. And please stop saying that they're old at 40 if they marry a woman who's 20. That's not old. A man who's 50 who's marrying a woman who's 25 or 30 is not old. Okay, because it's just that marriages aren't... Who said marriages were supposed to be 50, 60, 70, 80 years? It's ridiculous. It's not love just because you're together for that long. It's not. Love doesn't work like that. You could be in love for a full minute, and the minute is all you really need. Okay, we're not counting time. We're counting perception. We're counting the heart. We're not counting the mind. Okay, and these institutions and these abilities, these intense prisons put us all into lifestyles that turn us eventually into lunatics at the time, over time. So let's take a look at the benefits of marrying older men and younger women who need to change their perception of it completely. Both of you being 20 and getting married is absolutely ludicrous. So let's see what will happen. But right now we can see the rise of the right, and male energy or yang energy is really on the rise, and we don't want it to turn out the way it did in World War II, do we? So it's time to set new patterns for a new reality.